Hello, and welcome to this Vicon training video. This video will focus on enhancements to the Wiresheet and linking mechanisms in Niagara AX 3.6. For the purposes of this video, I will be running a station on my PC named Building 1 Jace. To demonstrate these enhancements, we'll be using this pre-configured Wiresheet with several components already linked together. The first enhancement we'll talk about has to do with link stubs or off-page links. Now, there's a link from this greater than component off-page to a different Wiresheet. If I mouse over that link and look in the lower left-hand corner of the workbench application at the status bar, I can see that the link goes to a subfolder called Sublinks, which is visible in this Wiresheet, to a component called Boolean Writable to its N16 slot. Now previously, we could right click on this component and choose Go to Link Component, which would take us to the Wiresheet, and we might be a few links back to get to the actual Wiresheet of that component that we wanted to look at, sublinks in this case, or maybe we would navigate within the nav tree space. With 3.6, we now have the ability to simply double click this link stub, which hyperlinks us to the target Wiresheet, or to the Wiresheet which contains the target component of the link. The hyperlink is also designed to sort of center itself on the link and to highlight the stub for us. So that's going to facilitate identifying that link, particularly if we have a busy Wiresheet or a large Wiresheet. Instead of having to manually position and navigate ourselves and find that component, it's now sort of centralizing on that and highlighting it for us. So this is a huge time saver when trying to follow off-page links between your control logic. In previous builds, the only way to delete an off-page link would be to go to the Wiresheet where the target component was with that link, and then right-clicking that link and choosing Delete Links, or using the Delete Link option in the Workbench menu bar. With 3.6, going back to the original Wiresheet with the source link, when I highlight that link and either right-click it or use the option in the menu bar, I can now delete that link from the source component. Again, huge time saver. Instead of having to try to locate the target Wiresheets, I can simply select one or more of these source links and delete them all from the source component. So that's really a time saver. The next feature we'll talk about is referred to as link highlighting. When I select a component in the Wiresheet, such as this divide component, notice that all of the links associated with the divide component are highlighted with red. If I'm were to select multiple components in the Wiresheet, perhaps by selecting Control and selecting this set point block, notice that its link is highlighted with a green color. So when you select multiple components, their links will be color coded to try to help visualize the links associated with each of those components. This is really a visualization to help you understand the workflow in the Wiresheet and to follow where the data links and the venting are going. Another nice feature with 3.6 is the ability to edit the link directly by right-clicking the link and choosing the Edit Link option from the main dialog box. This invokes the link editor dialog, which will allow me to edit the link, target slots, and things of that nature. Previously, if I wanted to edit this link, say, I would have to go to the link sheet on the target component, this greater than block, and then I would have to locate that link coming from the divide block, and then I could right click it and choose Edit to edit that link. So being able to directly access the link editor from the Wiresheet view is a huge time saver when working with these links if I want to modify the links or something of that nature. Another enhancement for 3.6 is conversion links. This is going to be a huge feature, time saver again, and help declutter the Wiresheet from all the linking components. An example of this would be looking at this program object, which has a Boolean slot. If I mouse over, you'll see in the lower left window. In order to link that to a status Boolean, say on this Boolean writable component, we had to use a conversion block to convert from the Boolean data type to the status Boolean data type. So we used a lot of these conversion components in kit control in the Wiresheet to link disparate data types. Well, with 3.6, we now have the ability to simply take this Boolean slot and link it to a status boolean slot on a different component without the need for the conversion component in the middle. So this type of link conversion is automatic, and it's supported between not only just value and status value data types, like in this case the boolean to status boolean, but also from, say, status numeric to status boolean, or from status numeric to status enum. And note, when I look at the edit links on this one, we'll see that it's a status numeric to status boolean converter. In this case, it doesn't have any specific properties. That's hard-coded behavior that when the numerical value is 0, then the boolean would be false, and if I change the numerical value to something 1 or greater, then the boolean would be true. In the case of the numeric to enum, then it's giving me the ordinal value here. In some of the components, there will be properties that can be edited. For example, if I link this current time to this string writable and edit the link on it, you'll see that the converter has an abs time to status string, and it takes a B format field. So it's allowing me to, or a string format field rather, it's allowing me to specify what the output of the string should look like based on these date time characters. Also, when linking, say, from this boolean writable to maybe the duty cycle, which is really a time on the multi-vibrator component, when I look at the edit link on it, we should see that there's a status boolean to number, which allows me to specify maybe the duty cycle. In this case, I might say it's going to be a 50% duty cycle when the value is true and a 25% duty cycle when the value is false. So now when I set this boolean value to true, then the duty cycle goes to 50. When I set the boolean writable to false, the duty cycle should change to 25. If we take a look at the help under the doc eng notes 2, there's a document, help document, Niagara AX conversion links, and I would encourage you to take a look at this document. It has lots of details about these links, and specifically there's a sheet that talks about supported conversion link types, and there's a table here. Don't have quite enough real estate to show the entire table, but there's a table that demonstrates the conversion process between the different data types, what's supported, not supported, if there's special notes associated with it, and things of that nature. And then there's detailed notes about linking from booleans and strings and things like that. So any of these different data types, there's notes on the conversion between them and what those properties are that might be able to be edited. Another nice feature which is added with 3.6 is link selection, particularly when you have overlapping links. Like in this case, we have a link between the numeric writable and the boolean. I also have an enum writable, and then I have a link stub there that I really can't seem to get a hold of. Even maybe if I tried to use the mouse click and zoom to highlight just that link stub, then maybe I might get a hold of it. Now, with 3.6, when you have multiple overlapping links like this and you right click, there is now a link selection dialog which allows you to specify which link you want to select. So just by right clicking on this and saying link selection, I could select that offsheet link, the link stub itself, very easily, or any of these overlapping links. The last feature we wanted to mention here has to do with the Wiresheet size. In 3.5, the Wiresheet was designed to grow dynamically in size, meaning when I drag a component out of the Wiresheet out onto the edge of the Wiresheet out of the palette, then the Wiresheet grows in size dynamically, basically expanding, allowing me more real estate to do my object-oriented programming for clarity's sake. But it was discovered that eventually the size of the Wiresheet could contribute to slow behavior because there's just so many components and so many things having to be processed. So on the tools and the options, looking at the Wiresheet options, there are now options in 3.6 to configure the maximum width and the maximum height of a wire sheet. And the default settings are 600 wide and 600 high. That number can be adjusted up or down within the constraints here of the field editors. But just be aware that if you do get to the edge and the wire sheet stops expanding, it's because there are maximum widths and heights now being invoked again on the Wiresheet Size, and those are configurable within your workbench options. So thank you for listening to this training video. Please stay tuned for other videos on 3.6 enhancements in other parts of the framework. Thank you.